So it's been a bullish couple of weeks in crypto, and recently Ethereum and altcoins have been outperforming Bitcoin. So is this the start of an alt season or just another trap? In this video, we'll go over all the key indicators you need to keep an eye on, and also a couple of potential altcoin trades, which I think could be very profitable over the next couple of days. So let's get into it. Starting then with the Altseason Index. So a nice little tool that you can refer to, which shows you when it is altcoin season and when it is Bitcoin season. So the higher the score, the closer we are to altcoin season, with the limit being around 75 and 25 and below being Bitcoin season. You can see we're stuck at 33, a bit of a no man's land, so not quite in Bitcoin season, but still quite far away from altcoin season. That being said, of course, this is a bit of a lagging indicator, and it basically goes alongside the performance of altcoins over the last 90 days. So whilst it feels like altcoins and Ethereum have been outperforming Bitcoin for a little while, obviously over the past 90 days, not so much. You can see there's only a handful of coins that have actually outperformed Bitcoin over the last 90 days. But of course, as I say, this is a lagging indicator. So by the time you wait for this, it might be a little bit too late and you've missed quite a bit of gains. But it's a good thing to keep an eye on. As I say, we have been creeping up ever since August and September, so it is something to keep an eye on. Of course, we had that peak earlier in the year, sort of around February, March. So as you can see, if you'd have waited to jump into altcoins until the beginning of March, then obviously you would have been buying around the top. So as I say, it's not it's more of a confirmation once it's happening, as opposed to an indicator to start buying, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And as I say, the higher we go up, the better position we are in terms of being in altcoins as opposed to Bitcoin. Moving on to the charts then, we'll quickly go over some analysis on Bitcoin and then get into the other altcoin indicators such as Ethereum, BTC, the total 2 and 3 charts, and of course that Bitcoin dominance chart. So very quickly on BTC, pretty simple analysis. Pretty much everyone's got the same opinion at the moment on X. So if we take a look at the weekly, obviously we've got this big weekly resistance here at around 64k. Previous swing high from the middle and late August. Obviously big level to get past. So we failed to get over it. Last week had a little test, small rejection. This week we've had a little wick above to around 64.6. I think that was yesterday, and come back down. So we had a little rally Sunday night, Monday morning, and then came back down during yesterday. But important factors to note, we have obviously got that weekly candle close, strong weekly candle close above 60k and above the weekly moving average 21 as well. So I think any pullbacks into 59k are probably a good buy. Obviously your invalidation being a weekly close back below 60k, so very good risk reward in my personal opinion. I think we could easily have a quick flush of leverage, a quick shakeout. You'll probably have some dip buys in around sort of 62, 61k. They get cleared out down into 60, 59k, and then it either becomes a wick or a deviation, something like that. But I think any sort of pullback into around that 60, 59k area, really good R&R, because as I say, invalidation is just a weekly close back below 60k and you can de-risk. If we go to the daily, of course that level is still prominent on the daily time frame as well. So you can see the 64k being a big level on the daily time frame, previous support and resistance. We also have another daily level at 65.5k as well. You can see another clear level of support and resistance in the past. So basically get above 65k and we are all guns blazing into potentially a run back up to those previous all-time highs. So I think that's what everyone's watching at the moment. You can basically argue that this is your sort of mid-range area as well, between 60 and 70k. Well, of course it is at 65k. So yeah, basically get over 65k and we should be looking good to head on to 70k. But as you can see, this resistance, big heavy resistance to 64k, we've been trying to get over it since, well, actually we first tried to get over it back at the end of August, failed, and then more recently, since last Thursday, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 5th attempt to break over it. So all eyes on that. In terms of Ethereum itself, let's get onto the higher time frame. So on the weekly, had a nice couple of weeks. It's still in a bit of a no man's land. We had this monthly range high support, which I was hoping we were going to tag around 2k. Didn't quite get down there. And now we've got resistance above us. We've got a weekly and daily FVG here around 2730, and then we've got that big weekly level of previous support at 2864, which will likely be resistance, along with the moving average 21 as well. On the daily time frame, we're right up against another daily FVG here around 2664, and then as I say, just slightly above that weekly and daily FVG at around 2,700. So again, we may well see a pullback in around here or at 2,730, which would be nice to see a pullback into this daily and 4-hour FVG areas down about 2,530 and 2,500. Meet up with the moving average 21, create a higher low, and then continue the uptrend. Similar with BTC, really. Wouldn't mind seeing a little pullback into around 62, 61k. See if we form a higher low there, or as I said before, maybe dip buyers there, get flushed out with a move down to 60.59k. But if we do come down to this level, meet up with the moving average 21, form a higher low, then that uptrend can continue. If we move on then to Ethereum BTC and Bitcoin dominance. So Ethereum BTC, as I've talked about on the monthly time frame, you can see we're holding this very important level of 0.04. We took out last month's wick, which was nice, and we've come up, run those lows, and we are back above 0.04 monthly level. If we lose this level, then goodness knows where we end up. So very important level to hold. In terms of the weekly and the daily, still a lot more work to do, as you can imagine. Weekly time frame way below the moving average 21, and only just starting to manage a second weekly green candle, or of course white candle on my charts. We've not had two green candles in a row on ETH BTC since all the way back in April, which is pretty crazy. In terms of the daily as well, of course, we've just about managed to get back above the moving average 21, which we haven't managed to do since we had a small blip here around July 2024, and then a semi-decent run above it around June of this year. So fairly significant, but still obviously very, very early days. If we then take a look at Bitcoin dominance on the monthly time frame, you can see we were looking like we were breaking this big level of monthly resistance here at around 57%. We're now back under that, and so any sort of monthly close, I think below 57%, may look quite bearish, and it could be a potential top on Bitcoin dominance. We'll have to wait and see. It's, as I say, still pretty early days. We've got another 7 days for this monthly candle close to go, but that could be the start. As I say, ETH BTC is on support, Bitcoin dominance on resistance. We've got a bit of a wick here, so who knows what could happen. In terms of the weekly as well, fairly well. We've got a doji last week, and we're starting to come down a little bit this week. However, we have of course had some pretty bearish looking candles all along this run, and that hasn't stopped it. We have not got back below the weekly moving average 21 on Bitcoin dominance. Apart from this small blip here in January, we've not gone below it since we broke above it back in January 2023. So Jan 2024, we spent 2 weeks under it, and apart from that, all above the weekly moving average. So that's going to be pretty huge if we can get a monthly candle close back below 57% and then start trending below the weekly moving average 21 on Bitcoin dominance. So one thing I wanted to bring you to your attention as well, as we're going into this bullish seasonality for Bitcoin, if we just take a look at the Bitfinex chart on a logarithmic scale and zoom out. So what I've done is I've placed, I need to go into the monthly time frame. I've placed these vertical lines on the past two election years in October. So you can see October 2016 back here when price was around $600. Don't we all wish we'd go back to that? And October 2020 when price was around 12, 13k. And as you can see, both of those Octobers in previous presidential election years in the US have been very, very bullish in the start of a major run. You can see we made 3,300% gains to the end of the cycle in 2016 going into 2017, and in 2020 going into 2021, 515%. 14 months from the presidential election to the top of the cycle in 2016-17, and only 6 months from the top of the cycle, from the presidential elections in October to the top of the cycle in 2020. Although I suppose you could argue, actually, if you take it to the actual top, it was around 13 months. So both, which was obviously in October of 2021. So both around 14 and 13 months. So are we going to see a repeat of that going into this presidential election? Of course, October, just about a week away now. So are we going to see another bullish 13, 14 months of Bitcoin? And if that is the case, what is going to happen with altcoins? So what we could see, if we go back to Bitcoin, back onto the regular charts, if we do see a bit of a breakout on Bitcoin, if it does clear 64, 65k, are altcoins going to run with it, or is it going to run by itself cause a spike in dominance and ETH BTC to drop. Is this move on altcoins just temporary, or are altcoins going to take the driving seat whilst Bitcoin chills out a bit? We'll have to wait and see. Moving on then to a couple of trades. In fact, actually, before I do that, I just wanted to show you the monster downtrends that alt BTC pairs are in. So if we just quickly flick through a few of them on the weekly time frame, you can see absolutely honking downtrends, but they are starting to show a little bit of a little bit about, some are doing quite well, obviously BNB BTC and I think FTM BTC looking quite good, but yeah, the majority of them in honking downtrends. However, starting to form some potential bottoms, and with that as well, we'll just take a quick look at the total 2 and total 3. So these are pretty much identical charts. So total 2 is the total crypto market cap minus BTC, and total 3 is minus BTC and ETH. And as you can see, pretty identical charts. So 940 billion is the big level on the total 2, and 620 billion is the big level on total 3. So you can see these are huge levels of weekly support and resistance, which has been respected very well. We've also got the moving average 21 here as well, and the RSI 50, which we rejected before on the total 2 around this 940 billion mark. We're right there again. So as I say, is this just another trap? Are we going to get another lower high and rejection in altcoins, or are they finally going to outperform Bitcoin for a bit? We're just going to have to wait and see, but something to keep an eye on for sure. If we do see some rejections from these levels on the total 2, total 3, a rise in Bitcoin dominance and another leg down on ETH BTC, then of course alts are going to feel a little bit more pain. However, if Bitcoin can chill sideways, not go up as hard as it normally does, leaving altcoins behind, then we could see a continuation and potentially the start of an alt season. But as I say, tread with caution. Moving on then to some potential trades. We go onto ADA, onto the daily time frame. So you can see it's been ranging for the past couple of weeks since about the end of August, bobbing in between this daily FVG at 36 cents and weekly level of support at 32 cents. You can see we got a daily close above that daily FVG, which has now been invalidated. It actually came down and retested this clear level of resistance as support today. So that looks like a potential breakout trade if you wanted to take that on. Probably have stop loss just below today's wick, which will be about 3%, and then aim for TP1 probably at these highs here at around 39.40 cents. And then maybe let the rest run up to around 41 cents, take another TP, and then let the rest run up to that weekly level of 45 cents. AVAX, again, cleared this clear level of daily resistance at $27, holding it as support, got a couple of FVGs below, holding it up. So again, you could jump in along here, stick your stop loss below these wicks, or below today's wick. So below all of the wicks would be 4%, below today's wick would be about 3%. And I would aim for a TP1 around here at $29.48, which is about 7%, and then TP2 up at this weekly level of $32. BNB, so this is a trade I've entered on the Learning Crypto Traders Lounge on Discord. So if you want to learn how to trade or join our trading community, go check out our website, learningcrypto.co.uk. This is our Discord, so you can see Traders Lounge. We've got trading chat, trade results. This is the trading room where we, me and the other analysts, put all of the trades that you can follow. As you can see, all the entry conditions, stop loss, TPs, all that sort of stuff. And there's the trade itself. We've also got members competitions where you can win extra membership for some successful trades. We've got a members trades chat as well, where people can share their own trades. So a really nice trading community, and really helpful to share those ideas, get some tips. We have weekly live streams as well on a Monday, where we all get together and discuss some trades and discuss strategy, etc. And this is the trade success room as well, where you can see plenty of successful trades coming in throughout the day. So moving back then to the trade that I'm talking about, so BNB, not only has it broken a diagonal daily resistance level here, as you can see, of lower highs, it's broken above that. It's also broken across this horizontal daily level resistance here at $602 and come back for a bullish retest of support, or hopefully. Stop loss below yesterday's, or just below yesterday's wick, around 3%. TP1 is at the top of yesterday's wick, and I'll move stop loss to break even. TP2 is just below the weekly level of 662, and then I'm going to let the rest run in case we break this weekly level and go to new all-time highs. Of course, CZ is getting out of prison this week, so we could see a bullish reaction on that. So that's a potential trade you can jump on. And then finally, DOT, done nothing, very similar to ADA for the past few weeks, been range bound, but it's broken above this daily FEG and clear level of daily resistance. Now you might want to wait for the daily close just to confirm this, and then get in on some sort of retest, maybe break it down to the 4 hour, look for a retest of a level on the 4 hour to create a higher low. But as I say, something to keep an eye on. Looks pretty good in terms of targets. So stop loss, even if you wanted to risk it and jump in here, you could have a stop loss just below today's wick. And in terms of your TPs, you're probably looking at these two swing highs here. So one at 487, one at call it $5. And yeah, your risk reward there pretty good, about 2 to 1 for the lowest level. The highest level, you're looking at almost 3 to 1, about 10-11% up to this wick up here, around $5.10. So yeah, drop it in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen over the next couple of weeks? Do you think this is the start of alt season or just another trap? Like the video, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll catch you on the next video.